If God is silent, I am weak. Let me just say to that, if you are able to make God silent, you are powerful indeed. You can shut God's mouth. The God who shuts the lion's mouth so they didn't eat Daniel, you can shut his mouth. The God who spoke the world into existence, you can make him inaudible. The God who became a human being to spread his word, you can make him whisper. The God who speaks through the thunderstorm to Job, you can say hush. Of course you can't. If God is not speaking loudly enough for you to hear, it is his choice. It is not your fault. The enemy makes himself heard. And he says, you can't hear God because you're stupid and you're faithless and you're immature and you're wicked. He's a liar. God's relationship with you is unique. How he speaks to you is also unique. Look through Scripture. It's so different. To some people, God sends an angel. To others, he speaks through a burning bush. To others, he speaks through a whirlwind. To others, he speaks through a storm. To others, he doesn't even say it clearly. And I love these because I like to think they're just like me, which I don't know that they are, but it leaves me room for that. Where it just says, and the Lord spoke to so-and-so. Maybe he just had an impression. Maybe he just looked at his circumstances and went, oh, this is what I should do. Could be. Fascinating book of Esther, the one we just read, where she was supposed to listen to God. The name of God is never even mentioned in the entire book. Isn't that your life? That's my life. God's hand is behind everything, but rarely does he give his name or autograph what he's done. He speaks differently to everybody. God speaks to me in completely wacky ways that I don't expect any of you to be spoken to through. I forget that I'm not a character in a book. That I'm not playing a role in a movie. I know it sounds pathetic, but I forget. And God speaks to me that way. He knows that, so he talks to me that way. I'm like, oh man, I'm moving one way, and then there's like this foreshadowing. And I recognize it because it's a literary technique, and I'm in a book. And I say, what is going on in my life right now? And I see the theme. And I recognize it because I'm a literary guy, and I'm in a book. Is God going to speak to you that way? I really doubt it. I really doubt it. His relationship with you is unique. How he'll speak to you is unique. Don't compare yourself with other people. And gifting and calling come much into play. Much into play. Here's the irony, I think, of all this, and we'll wrap it all up. I read Blackaby and I read Friesen. Blackaby says God will always speak to you in this manner of faith, by you going out and seeing where God is moving and him making everything work right for you. Friesen says God will never speak to you that way. God will always speak to you through your study of the Scripture and your understanding of the wisdom of God. And you know what's funny? I think what they're each doing is looking at the way that God speaks to them and demanding that everybody follow suit. I mean, I think Blackaby works that way. I think that is Blackaby's relationship with God. Should it be yours? Not necessarily. Are there things we can learn from Blackaby? Of course, absolutely. Fundamental. Friesen says this is the way it works because this is the way God speaks to him, with clarity, through wisdom. Does that mean that your relationship with God should be just like that? No, not necessarily. Does it mean there's things we can learn with Friesen? Absolutely. Without a doubt. Fundamental. It depends a little on gift and calling and how God chooses to work with you. I am delighted by the fact that my father has a unique relationship with me. I have a unique relationship with each of my kids. And despite what they always claim they want, I do not treat them the same, and they do not want to be treated the same. Amen. If I spoke to all of them the same way, it would only work for one of them. And that's the truth. Amen. In all things, put on Christ. In all things, pursue Christ. In all things, seek Christ. It's a relationship. Walk with Christ. This will prevent most of the issues we've addressed. It is this individual will, this particular one, which reminds us most of our dependence upon God. It's interesting, the Pharisees believed in the sovereign will of God. And the Pharisees were zealous to keep the moral will of God. In fact, if you limit it to these two bowls, they're not worth our scorn. They're easy to scorn because Jesus scorned them, but that was Jesus who scorned them. He was perfect. They're not worth our scorn. They're better than our scorn. if we look limited to these goals. They kept the moral will of God better than any of us have ever even tried. Paul says that. I was flawless when it came to that kind of law. And yet, despite being clear about the sovereign will and zealously pursuing the moral will, they missed Jesus completely. Missed him completely. The individual will of God is that you walk with him. And don't miss it. Interestingly, I already said that. I want to read you a poem I wrote 30 minutes ago, and then we're going to let you go. I know I'm not going to. You don't want to say this. I wrote this beautiful, fantastic poem 30 minutes ago in honor of Pop Culture Month, and in honor of our beautiful backdrop. The Grinch hears singing and begins his evil plan. The Green Egg Dude hears from Sam I Am. Horton hears a who and moves on that. Who knows what drives the cat in the hat? But you are afraid because God is so still. How can you tell what is his will? Just follow his word and trust in his power. God is big enough for every small amount. Whether Horton or who, Grinch or feline, God has a plan, a perfect design. He is the author, designer, and king. Just pursue his face in everything. It's my Dr. Seuss tribute. Let's pray.